Right, it looks set to be a busy deadline day on Friday. Liverpool are making moves this lunchtime. Our chief reporter, Cavi Solokol, joins me with some breaking transfer news. Cavi, what can you tell us?
Yes, Liverpool have now agreed a deal with Juventus to sign Federico Chiesa. The deal is worth £10 million up front, plus bonuses of £2.5 million, which are primarily based on team performances. So potentially the deal could be worth up to £12.5 million. He has become the first signing under new head coach Arne Slot. And for what it's worth, I think he could turn out to be a fantastic signing because this is a player who was a key player for Italy when they won the Euros at Wembley. He was also a key player for Juventus under the previous head coach, Max Allegri. But I think the issue with him and Juventus is he's only got 1 year left on his contract. Juventus signed him for, I think, around 50 million euros. So they didn't want him to leave for nothing next summer. That's why he hasn't been in the first team squad this summer and the start of this season. And that's why they've been looking for another club for him. So it looks like very, very good business by Liverpool to get a player of his quality at his age for just an initial £10 million. But of course, we have to wait and see what he does on the pitch. But on paper, it looks like a great deal.
Yeah, a great deal. And how will he fit in with this Liverpool side? I mean, do they need him?
I mean, depends who you speak to. Under Arne Slot, they've been very, very impressive at the start of this season. They've sort of modified the way they play a little bit from the way they played under Jurgen Klopp. But it was quite surprising, the fact that they hadn't made a signing. I know some supporters were getting a little bit concerned that Liverpool hadn't made a move in the transfer market. But obviously now they have made a move. And I think when you're a club with a squad as strong as Liverpool's, it's difficult to find players who are going to improve your squad. You don't want to be in a position where you're just signing players for the sake of it. You have to sign really, really high quality players to improve a squad as good as Liverpool's. And I think potentially they found a very, very high quality player. The only issue I think for him is he had a serious ACL injury a couple of years ago, which obviously sidelined him for a while, and it took him a while to get back to his best. But if he is back to his best, then he could be a very, very big signing for Liverpool. And I think you're probably too young to remember, but he does come from a very good footballing pedigree, because his father was also a fantastic player who I think played for Fiorentina. I'm not quite sure. My memory's getting a bit hazy, but he does come from a sort of esteemed footballing family.
And I was going to ask you, because you said about that injury, the price, £10 million, you said initially. We're so used to talking during transfer windows about huge sums of money. I mean, £10 million is a huge sum of money, but it does seem rather cheap, dare I say. Is that because there maybe is a bit of a risk with bringing him in?
I think the main reason why his sort of transfer fee has gone from 50 million euros 3 or 4 years ago, when he moved, I think initially on loan from Fiorentina to Juventus, it's gone down from 50 million euros to around, 12, 13 million euros, 10 million pounds. The reason is he's only got a year left on his contract. So Juventus did not want him to leave for nothing next summer. So that is why Liverpool have been able to do this deal at this price. And of course, everybody knows how smart Liverpool are when it comes to signing players in the transfer market. Everybody knows their recruitment department is one of the best in the business. New people have come in the summer. People have returned to the club as well. And I'm sure they've done a lot of research on Chiesa, looked at all his stats, all the data, and they're confident that he will be a very, very good addition to Arne Slot's squad.
Have to ask you quickly about another Serie A forward potentially leaving Italy. I feel like I've spoken to you about him every single day that I've spoken to you this window. Victor Osimhen, what is the latest on his future?
Well, the latest, and this is all from Gianluca Di Marzio from Sky Italy. Obviously, he has very good connections throughout Italian football and European football. he has very good contacts at Naples as well. And what he's reporting this afternoon is that Al Ahly, the Saudi club who've been trying to sign Victor Osimhen all summer, they have now increased their offer for Osimhen. Their previous offer in pound terms was around £60 million. So Sky Italy believe now that they've increased that offer, and Gianluca says that the Al Ahly sporting director is actually in Italy to make that offer in person. Now, only yesterday we were talking about the fact that Osimhen's agent had come out on social media and kind of appeared to suggest that the player didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. He said he had unfinished business in Europe. But Sky Italy at the moment are reporting that Al Ahly have had some encouragement from the player. And they're also saying that Napoli are more hopeful that they will be able to agree a deal for him to go to Al Ahly. I mean, the wages on offer, I think, are extraordinary. Sometimes we get carried away when it comes to reporting the wages that are on offer in Saudi Arabia. But I think he could expect to earn probably around £400,000 a week if he does make the move to Saudi Arabia.
OK, Cavi, and just for those that were listening, Federico Chiesa, that is his dad, right. And he did indeed play for Fiorentina as well as Parma and Siena, most notably. Cavi, thank you very much. So a reminder of that breaking news. Liverpool have agreed a deal with Juventus for Federico Chiesa. The fee is £10 million up front, plus £2.5 million in add-ons based primarily on first-team performance. Our colleagues in Sky Italy spoke exclusively to Chiesa ahead of his flight to Liverpool.
Ciao, piacere.
Ciao.
Sei pronto a iniziare questa nuova avventura?
Sì, sono felicissimo, davvero, grazie. Volevo salutare i tifosi bianconeri, grazie per l'affetto, per questi anni, veramente vi porterò nel cuore, grazie alla Juventus.
Ti spiace un po' lasciare la Juve così?
No, dispiace, ma sono veramente felice per questa nuova avventura, davvero. Sono davvero felice e non vediamo l'ora, io e la mia famiglia. Davvero, grazie.
Bocca al lupo.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Well, Italian football expert Mina Rizzuki joined us earlier to give us her take on Chiesa's move to Liverpool.
He is an incredibly direct player, can play on the left or right, can even play as a second striker, although he's not really a huge fan of that, to be honest with you. But when he did, he was astonishing to watch. You really need to just watch the match, for example, in Euro 2020, when he played against Spain, even in the final. It's these tears, it's his acceleration, it's his dribbling movements. He can get past his man. He can hit top speeds, which are 34, 35 kilometers an hour. He covers a lot of ground. It's a little bit less so now as he's gotten a little bit older, but that also is something that depends on where he's been playing with Juventus and the style of football that they were playing as well. But the problem with Chiesa as well at times is that he's not somebody who occupies space in exactly the way that Italian coaches love or what is needed in Serie A. At times, he can't really rid himself of the marker. So the problem with Chiesa really has been that he hasn't yet connected with a coach who's been able to develop his talent. He's got bags full of talent, so much technique. But unfortunately, it's about reading the game and knowing how to play with your teammates, about knowing when to get rid of the markers, knowing how to free yourself up so that you can receive the ball and deliver and play with the others. And that's not really been his forte. His forte is at times head down, dribbles, gets really far. His acceleration is on show, and he's sort of almost a one-man band, always wanting to come to the rescue. Give me the ball. I'm going to run. I'm going to try to score a goal. And he's got a beautiful finish on him too. But it's about really incorporating into the team dynamics, sort of showing him the way. And I don't think he's really had that in Italy. And so it's about what he can develop and that relationship that he'll have with Arne Slot. If they can find that connection, I do genuinely think that Chiesa's technique will be on show and it'll be fun to watch. Fans are up in arms about Federico Chiesa leaving, largely because of the promise he had shown, because he was going to be the future of the team. But it hasn't really worked out. And it's very difficult to blame the player for all of this. Obviously, when he arrived, he took the club by storm. He was brilliant to watch under Andrea Pirlo. So agile, so mobile, so direct in the way that he plays. And he was always coming to the rescue of Juventus. But unfortunately, he did suffer that ACL injury in January 2022. And we're yet to really see the player come back to the levels that we had seen previously. He's still hitting top speeds. He's still an incredibly great player when he accelerates. But unfortunately, it just seemed like with Max Allegri, who played a more cautious style of football, you could say, very miserable style of football. It wasn't really great for the attackers of Juventus, and there was never this understanding between him and Chiesa. And it seemed like Chiesa's form just kept on dropping. And when it came to Thiago Motta taking over, we thought this would be the opportunity. But with 1 year left on his contract, nothing agreed. And all these rumors about him wanting so much money. Juventus has a sustainable issue. They want to be more sustainable. They want to rely on youthful players. And Thiago Motta decided that he's not the type of player that will fit into his plan. And so it's unfortunate for the fans, and he needs a place where he can start. But I'm not sure he's going to get that at Liverpool either.